Start recording. So yeah, steps to include while you select your project. So essentially what we're doing here in this phase of your learning journey is putting into practice what you have been learning over the last couple of weeks. So if you've been studying Dart, you're going to build a mobile app or a web app that is implemented with Dart, which is specifically solving a problem. So we're going to go through the business needs, the business needs of the project, as well as the technical requirements that you would require when just some of the technical requirements for completing this project. So yeah, what are the business needs of a project? So anyone that creates a solution has got a bit of a background story. Something in most cases, there's something that triggered an innovator or a creator to solve a particular problem with technology or whatever it may be. So likewise for you learners who will be doing the final project, it's very important for you to have a short background of your personal touch with just a background of why you are doing this project. So maybe you are working somewhere and you needed to buy something, and probably or you are doing an international payment, maybe with PayPal, and it took too long for you to receive money. These are the stories that cause people to actually build solutions, probably in fintech or in other areas. So your project would need a bit of a background story, just so that it's personal, so that you own it, not something that maybe someone else has done, but something that is very unique to something that you have gone through. So the next thing we would need, and in case you got any questions, in case you got any queries, we have got other instructors on the call. Alan is here as well as Laxon. So they are on hand to answer any questions, as well as contribute at any time to this lesson. So feel free to communicate, feel free to use the chat, feel free to lift up your hand, and we'll be glad to assist you with anything that may arise. So the next thing you'd need which is under business needs, is a problem statement. So it has to answer the question of what you are solving and why you are solving it. The next thing obviously is the main thing, the solution. So you clearly explain how your app or website is solving the issue that you have identified in your problem statement. Is that clear? So essentially we're making something called pitch decks. Probably some of you are, I'm sure most of you are familiar with pitch decks because you guys work for a bank. So it's probably things you guys are familiar with. So next thing is the solution. So you'll clearly explain how your app or website is solving that issue. And you see here, you can have a fantastic, next thing obviously is the market target. You see, you can have a fantastic product, you can have a fantastic service, but no one really knows about it. So, or maybe it's just not solving the needs of the people in your area, or it's just not feasible in where you're from. So it's very important to know from the beginning that, yeah, I'm creating a solution to a problem, but people can actually use this. There's a market that I am serving. One of the reasons PLP is growing at the rate it is growing at is because they did all of this. They identified a problem, they're creating a solution, and they've clearly identified a market with which they can take the solution to. So it's all about planning your project extremely well, and you never know, your product might be the next big thing. I'll touch base on that a bit later. Next thing is a business logic. So over here, you will clearly explain how your project will generate revenue. So before we go into technological needs, let's first of all get into the I'll get into, I want to show you guys a pitch deck. But before I do that, in case you've got any questions in the chat, or if Lakson or Alan have got anything to contribute to this, please unmute your mic and go ahead. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the project and how you can come up with one actually. So the first things first, of course, you know, like you don't have to stress when it comes to problem solving. Just look in your community. You get the point. You see the problem that these guys are facing.
Right.
It might be actually a problem that has been already been solved in other countries, but it hasn't been implemented yet in your country or in your community. So this is like your best chance to come up with a solution using this technology that you have been learning. You know, you can just maybe write down the problem, come up with the way on how you can solve it, and not forgetting how you can make money off it. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it, I think, on my end.
Yeah, thanks, Lakson. So let's get into the pitch deck. So we prepared this pitch deck for you to see. Let me present this. So presented, this is our cover page. So first things first, obviously you've got your table of contents, and over here you basically just list down what is the content of your deck. So you've got your introduction, you've got your problem statement like we saw in the previous document. You've clearly spoken about the solution you're solving. You've identified the target market as well as the business logic. Possibly if you need funds, because a pitch deck is presented to investors and partners, people who would be interested to commit either monetary resources or even just advice. So sometimes you may need funds, and we just show you over here briefly how you can, just a template on which you can follow on how to go about and start thinking about raising funds for your enterprise. And then obviously round up with contact page. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So again, if you got any questions, leave them in the chat or just raise your hand and we could unmute you and we can help you with anything you need. Okay. Carson, do you have something ulikuwa na kitu ya kusema? Was that Carson? I'm not sure. Anyway, let's start with the introduction. So we are actually building an app as well as the Dart team, just to show we're doing this project with you so that you're not left behind. You can see how we are going to do our project. I'm going to show you the steps we are following, and you could just use these steps that we're doing and follow them and use them to build your own project that you could present on graduation. I think this thing is very, if I were you guys, I was in cohort 1 myself, and I can definitely say, like, during the graduation, a lot of people, fantastic opportunities come out of this thing. A couple of people even received funding to accelerate their businesses. So if there's something I would really ask you guys to pay a lot of attention to, it's this next phase of learning, which is the project-based learning, building your own products that you feel like can be a solution for people in your community. So obviously this pitch deck is unique to our app. So we started with the introduction. So our app is a daily tracker app. So it helps individuals manage and organize their daily tasks and goals with features such as goal setting and progress tracking to aid in achieving personal and professional aspirations. That is the introduction of the app. Basically, it is going to be a tracker app that tracks and that keeps track of your daily activities as you throughout the day. So you fill in, maybe today I'm going to be focusing on this and this between these times, and it's just a way which you can keep track of your day and just make sure you're as productive as possible. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so the problem we are solving is that many people lead busy lives, and it can be challenging to keep track of everything that needs to be done. So we've identified a problem, and we want to solve this problem with technology. So we're building an app that solves this problem. So the next page is for the solution. So our mobile app aims to provide solution for this problem by providing an easy and convenient way for individuals to manage and organize their daily tasks and goals. And so how are we going to do this? We're going to create features that allow our users to set and track daily, weekly, or monthly habits. We'll also have an option on the app to set reminders for habit completion and task completion, as well as a calendar view to track habit progress over time, and a progress view to track completion rate of each habit. So this is the solution where we have a problem on the previous slide, and this is a solution. So this is an example of some of the features we will incorporate into our app to allow our users to get the most benefit out of it. So we've got a target market. You can build amazing things. You can build things with the fanciest technologies, but at the end of the day, if it's not benefiting users, it won't go very far. The reason you use the apps that you use is because, to a degree, they're helping to make your life easier. So it's very important, as you set out to building your own solutions, that you can see that you're building your app for a subset of users. So over here, we are marketing it as a productivity tool for businesses and students, helping employees and students manage their workloads and increase their efficiency. Also, the app can find other use cases among individuals and athletes to keep track of their daily activities. So over here, we've identified that we're going to be making the app for businesses, individuals, athletes, and students to manage their progress over time. So that it's not just a fancy app that we're building, an app that's got all these cool animations, but it's something that's actually solving a problem for people. So yeah, at this juncture, I think I'll just open the floor to anyone that have got any contribution, maybe anything that's not very clear, and we could address that. Oh, nothing. No worries. Let's go. Lakson, do you have anything to add? All right, I think we'll just continue. So for those who are just joining us, we're getting into the project. We're getting into another phase of learning. We've taught you the basics of Dart, but the next phase of learning is actually building projects with the knowledge that we've acquired. So in this next phase, we're building, you guys will be tasked to build a solution. And I'll take this, like I said earlier on, I'll take this extremely seriously, because this is what would set you apart. This is what would make the difference between you and someone that just went through PLP and just finished, like, just random. I would take this extremely seriously, because fantastic opportunities are on the other side of this project. Outstanding project, obviously, are presented to investors, people that would be interested in taking your business to the next level, taking your solution to the next level. So see it as an opportunity to advance your skills, also to advance your networks, and just to test your skills as well. I know most of us are probably starting out with programming. I would just say, put your best foot forward. What you can do right now with what you've got. Obviously, we're here to support you, and we're building the project side by side. But give your best foot forward. Do your best in this next phase of the project, of your learning journey. So we just go on to the next slide, which is business logic. So yeah, like, you've got to have a business model that your app is going to use to create sustainability. You'll probably have bills to pay. You'll have money that needs to be diverted to running the business. So you've got to find a way that your app or your solution or your website is going to be able to make money. So there are a lot of business models for we've got subscriptions, we've got purchases. So what are subscriptions? What are in-app purchases? What is advertising? I'm sure these are all terms that you are very familiar with. Subscriptions, if you look at like Netflix's, Spotify's business models, they charge users a monthly fee to access the app features and functionality, and that's something that we are going to be incorporating into our app. So we offer subscription-based model where users pay a monthly or annual fee to access the app's features and functionality. The fee will depend whether the account is a business or an individual. Another way we have seen that we can create another business model that we're going to follow is in-app purchases, just to make it a bit more interactive. We see a lot of games, like, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Subway Surfers, games like Subway Surfers, Temple Run. They had all of these in-app purchases. You buy tokens on the game using real money, and you can use them within the game. So those are examples of in-app purchases. And our app will also offer additional features and functionality for businesses that want their employees to be using the app for efficiency and productivity. The A premium version comes with advanced goal setting and tracking tools, set recurring reminders for employees, and the ability for the business to monitor the employees. Another business model that a lot of apps and websites use is advertising. So they gather data on users of the platform and sell their data to marketing companies for money. We all know how Facebook became so big through ad revenue, and because you'd give Facebook all your data, either your name, your email address, where you live, they know your friends, so they create personas on the users of the app, and preferences, things that they would prefer, maybe places they prefer to go to, things that they prefer to buy. So that's another way that that websites and apps create money for themselves. If for example, I think, I'm not very sure the numbers, but I think it varies sometimes. But if, for example, you've got 1,000 users on your app, each user that views an app, each time someone sees an advert on your website or your app, maybe you're charged a few cents or a few dollars. So it gets more and more, it snowballs, so that when 10 million people on your platform, when a million people on your platform, you're actually reaping in great revenue. So that's another way in which you can think about the business model to follow for your app or your website or your business or your solution. So if there are no questions, once again, the chat is open. If there are no questions, I'll just go to the next slide. So I'll just give a few seconds in case someone has got something to add. Duke, do you have something to say, Duke?
Sorry, Eric, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was asking, let's say that you have now built an app and you want to deploy your app in the App Store.
Yes.
Or in the Play Store.
Mm.
How will you ensure that if people download your app and use it, you are getting paid?
I think is so basically, I think, Laxon, would you like to take that question?
Oh yeah. So yeah, so when it comes to we have been explaining, you have to make sure that you have you know what you're solving. Of course, when you notice a problem in the community, of course, you know the people have been affected by the same problem. So that's the first step, I would say, like you're supposed to recognize. So once you know the people that have been affected and the people who embrace that solution, the next step now you have to do, you have to start implementing advertising methods. There is what we call Play Store installs. It's part of the installation. It's part of the advertisement process where you can advertise with let's just say maybe your application is on Play Store. You can advertise with Play Store. Find that whenever someone is searching something similar to your application will also be suggested, and they'll only charge you. Google will only charge you when someone installs. So that's part of you advertising the platform. And apart from that, you can also do some awareness. Of course, you can do some adverts on social media like Facebook. We can do some boosting. These are some of the things that are there. So like if you're doing a boosting on Facebook or if you're advertising with Facebook, the first thing you have to keep in mind, again, it all goes back to the people that you're targeting. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are going to use the applications. There are so many applications on Play Store, but it's not every application that you can download. Even you get the point, because you'd only download applications that make sense to you. So it's pretty much the same thing, even the application that you're going to develop. You're supposed to identify or know the people that you're going to target and know how you're going to reach them. So for example, let's just say you create something that's similar to TikTok. People who can use something like TikTok, Generation Z, you get the point. They're still in school, they're still in university. So you would want to reach out through maybe university media, you get the point. Like you go there, you have a meeting or some kind of a thing with the students. People do that, by the way, when they're advertising their applications. They make time and identify and understand the people that they're targeting, where they are usually found, that's where they'll go. So if they're on Facebook, you advertise with Facebook, and you're supposed to understand the audience. You can even adjust the audience. Instead of reaching people who are 60 plus, you can just reach maybe people who are less than 30s. You get the point. So like from 13 to 30s, just like that. So that's how you market your application. Okay. So I don't know whether I've answered your question.
Yeah, you have answered.
Okay, thanks.
Great. Is there any other question? Thanks for that, Laxon. Is there any other question? All right, then let's continue. Let's go to the next slide. So this is an example of how you can, for example, if you need, when you're pitching your idea to people that are interested, to investors or whoever it may be, this is an example that you could use, and we'll share this link with you guys. So this is an example of how you can start to think about how to raise funds and how those funds are diverted, and how they'd be diverted into growing your business. Because sometimes you need seed capital, you need seed funding to take your business from 10 customers to 1,000 customers, or 10 users to 1,000 users. So if you'll create your pitch deck, you'll create your product. Over here, we've given just hypothetical figures. You're asking $20,000 at a $200,000 evaluation over 18 months. So at this point, you will have identified that you need X amount of money to grow your business within a certain amount of time with key metrics, things like how many employees you would need, your marketing strategies, how during this time also you'd be able to make some money on the side, up until your business becomes profitable. So over here, for example, if you asked for this, you'd receive it maybe over 18 months. And these funds are not released to you off the top, like just immediately. They'd probably be released to you either monthly or quarterly, and they'd be diverted into, like you can see over here, you've got your user acquisition. This involves your marketing, taking your business from, like I mentioned earlier on, from 10 customers to maybe 1,000 customers. So what do you need for that? You would budget it like so, maybe in a pie chart, and say, yeah, you need this amount of funds over this amount of time to get your business profitable. So that's what user acquisition involves. You've got now over here, you've got your salaries and business support. So this would go into paying your employees, paying yourself, so that you're not struggling also during that time. So that you can also pay yourself, take your business to the next level, pay your investors as well. So that goes into salaries and business support. You also got your technical support. Perhaps you need to subscribe to services like Zoom. You need to maybe get a premium Zoom account. You need to buy storage from Google. Maybe you need to buy hosting from AWS, Amazon Web Services. That is what would entail technical support. And yeah, this is just to open your minds and think also as a programmer. You also have to think as a problem solver, and think about yourself also as someone who can actually do something with technology and scale your idea. Okay, you've got now on this page, you've got your contact us page, email address, website address, and yeah, you can just end by saying thank you. Thank you for taking the time thank you for taking the time to go through my pitch deck. So if you got any questions about the pitch deck, put it in the chat or just unmute and we could address them. Okay, let's go. Or is there someone that wanted to say something? Michael or Morris?
No. Okay, as you continue, I'll be asking questions, but because this is my first day,
yeah,
I'm in group 3. I think this is my first session, and I can say it's good. I like the way you are dispensing knowledge to us. Okay, I'm happy. What I can say is just congrats.
So thanks. What's your name? Your name is Michael. I think we should we're preparing to do our projects, our final projects, because the learning ends in this cohort ends in February. So yeah, we're preparing to do our projects. If you've chosen to go with Dart or any other programming language, you'll build a project based on.
I come from the field of React Native, but okay, I love Flutter because Flutter is a good community from Google. And okay, the reason why I choose to study Flutter is because okay, I was in dilemma. I Googled between Native, React, and Flutter. So I wanted to know which language is better than the other, but
yeah,
I came to a conclusion that every language is better the way you use it. So I said I'll take a foot on the Flutter so that I can know what is there.
Yeah. That's a good observation.
Thank you.
That's a good observation. So yeah, feel free. Whichever technology you feel like you're most comfortable in is what you could use to build your project.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think there's someone in the chat. When is the quote ending? February. Right, then if there's nothing else, if there's no other question, obviously it's open, but let's just continue. We'll go into now the technological needs. So design is a very, very important part of problem solving. It's a very, very important part of programming. A very important part of anything, in anything that you do. You need to design and you need to prepare extremely well. So in Rogers, we are presenting the project in person. So we're going to have, like in December, last December, we had an event at KICC and we presented our projects to some judges. So the project will be done in person. I hope that answers your question. Amazing people come, very, very, like, if I may say, big in quotes, big people in tech, in the tech field usually come. So it's quite exciting to meet, to interact with people like those. So yeah. All right. So yeah, design is a very, very important part of software development. And when you're building, especially apps in teams, as you will need to design things on Figma, on our website called Figma. So it's right here. This is Figma, and this is basically what we as the Dart instructors will be building. Like we mentioned earlier on, it is a habit tracker app. So we're going to create now a user interface that looks like this. So we're going to show habits that you have. Maybe you like running, you like cycling. You can see the date today. You can see your profile there. You can also you can also choose to create a new habit, give it a title, choose an activity. So this is an example of, your app might not look like this. Maybe your design might also not look like this, but it's good to know how to work with Figma. Let me just post this in the chat so that you guys can have a look at the website. Just give me a second, please. Let me just post it in the chat. So you can be looking at this website. So all of these things have been built by using this. Obviously, like it might have a bit of, you might have to learn it for a bit. And just search it up on YouTube, just a 5-minute video on YouTube, and you can be able to get familiar with Figma to design screens for your app. So come here, you can select you want to have like a star shaped something, and then you can color it here. can give it the color, maybe orange. You can create other shapes, any shapes that you want. All of this has been built with Figma, so you can just have a look at it yourself and also build yourself. These are called high fidelity diagrams. So you've got to, these are high fidelity diagrams. So it's just an example of how your app would end up looking. So the next thing that is very important, I hope all of you guys are on GitHub. I hope you guys all have GitHub accounts. So you're going to need a GitHub repository, and your project should have at least 30 commits and above. And your project should also have a clear README. So does everyone here have a GitHub account? If you have a GitHub account, you can just like drop a 1 in the chat.
Can I? Okay. Can I share my GitHub?
Yes. Yeah. You might not. No, you don't. Okay, yeah, you can share it. We can see your GitHub actually. Share your GitHub on the chat so that we can have a look at the projects you've been doing. But yeah, I encourage each and every one of us to get a GitHub account. Yeah, thank you. Get a GitHub account, and this is where basically you'll be able to store your code, and then also just make it public. Make sure it's public so that we can also be having a look at it in case you need any help with like building your screen, debugging, or doing anything on your app. We're obviously here for you. I have an account, so I don't need to sign up. Just need to sign in. So yeah. Then hosting your project. Your project, if it's a mobile app, you can place it on Play Store, and be sure to attach your links in the GitHub repository. So yeah, that's it. That's what I think. Maybe Lakson, you can speak a bit about hosting the project.
Okay, yeah. So when it comes to hosting the project, as you can see here on the in the document there, it's suggesting that you host it on Play Store or App Store. By the way, Play Store is for Google, which is Android, and App Store is for iOS, which is Apple. So when you're done with the application, you can deploy it on these platforms. And for those of you guys who don't know, for you to get a Play Store developer account, you have to pay how much? $25, if I'm not mistaken. And for iOS, it's like $99. But I suggest you go with Play Store because it's cheaper. And once you pay, it's your developer account. So meaning that then that's it. The application is yours. Everything is just yours. So I would recommend you also have an application on Play Store so that when if you want to push the same application as a startup, you can easily do that. And if you want to list it on your CV, you can easily do that, because most of the times you find that when you're doing some interviews as a Flutter developer, they'll say, okay, what applications have you worked on? So it's a better deal or a better idea that you choose to like host it on Play Store so that you can just easily share it to your potential employers. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Lakson. I hope that is clear to everyone. Yeah, we're developers, man. Let's do great things together. So yeah, we're coming to the conclusion. We're coming to the end of our class. So over here, we've put this for you guys in 9 simple steps that you can follow, and we've gone over step 1, which is the background story of the project and creating the GitHub repo. I don't know, did we create a GitHub repo? I think I should create a GitHub repo just for demonstration purposes. So let me do that right now. Let me just do that right now. So once you sign into your GitHub account, you come to your top right, top right of your screen, select new repository, and then any repository name, you can call it LP final project. As a repository name, we'll keep it as public so that anyone on the internet can see this repository. And then you can initialize it to the README, add a git ignore. So yeah, I think we can create this repository. For me, it's a personal preference. I like adding my README myself. So I'll add that later. So yeah, voila, you have your project. So in case you've got any issues like uploading things to, uploading documents to, or folders or files to your GitHub, you can reach out to me. But also this information is on Google. I mean, it's on YouTube. So you can also just check like a simple video, how to upload, or how to upload a folder to GitHub. You'll find it right there. I think also in your computer essentials class, some of our module instructors must have taken you through this. But if not, you can reach out to me or even just go to YouTube and it should all be there. So let's come back here. Or is there any question about GitHub before we move on? Okay, so yeah, let's go back to this project implementation roadmap. So we've got the background story of the project. We've created the GitHub repo. We also have a problem statement and designing of the project. And then also we've got a solution with step 3 involves prototyping the design. So I will send you, just to keep track, just to make sure like we're all moving in the same direction. I would like us all to create GitHub accounts. I mean, GitHub repos for your final project. Begin work on it as soon as possible, as well as begin work on your pitch deck for presentation. Work on your business logic, your target market as well as get started on the figma design. So you can do it in that order. So first step, obviously, I would recommend you start by creating a GitHub repo. Commit your first bit of code to GitHub, and then you can move on to designing the app and then also preparing the pitch deck in that order. And yeah, to just keep track of you guys, make sure we're all like moving together. We've created a small form here and I will just share it. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah, so if you can send us your GitHub repo, you'll just look at the link and then fill it in, and then send us back the results by at least the 27th. And yeah, I can give you, Rogers, are you on the group? Are you on the Family Bank group? I can just send it there, but if not, I can also just drop it here as well. To you personally as well as to everyone, so that you have a clear idea of how to create your pitch deck, as well as I think I should also send the Figma file to everyone. So team, if you've got any other questions, any other queries, please raise them with me, but we're done for today. Let's get coding. Next week, we shall be showing you the progress of our application. So, and we will also be looking to the progress of your application or solution. So anyone has not got any question, you can just tell us right now. If you got any question, you can ask. Yeah, please go ahead and ask. I can see also Paul is here. Paul, Laxon, Alan, if you got anything to say, please go ahead. But we would like to wrap this session for today.
Okay, yeah, so I have something to say. I don't know whether you guys, some of you guys know that there is an event for Flutter actually today. I don't know whether it's still, I think it's still on actually. Yeah, it's in Nairobi. Yeah, so they'll be talking about new updates to the same to the framework. So if you guys are interested in that, you can go online and search so that you see the amazing things that have been added to Flutter. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I think the event is called Flutter Forward. Newton, I think Newton knows about it.
Oh yes, it's called Flutter Forward.
Nice. So yeah, I'll also be sharing the recording for this meeting on the LMS. So you can look out for that as soon as it converts.